Alright, guys, we are back, and get some distractions out of my way here. It is so great to see you here this evening. This is a project of mine that I'm excited to finally get moving along here, and I'll explain in a moment here. But it's been on the table for, wow, a good 6 to 7 months at least, guys. And today we're going to be talking about the top cameras YouTubers use in 2020. Now, as you're well aware, there are a ton of choices when it comes to cameras for shooting video. You can go the DSLR route, you can go mirrorless route, you can go full frame, APS-C, action cam, and the list goes on. Now, obviously, we're in the very beginning of 2020 at the moment, but I found that there are a handful of cameras that stand a head and shoulders above the rest, or at least for content creators, YouTubers need them to do. Now, what I've done here, guys, is I've curated the top 7 lists from asking YouTubers over the last 6 months. Technically, this started back in VidSummit last year, and well, technically, it actually started further back than that, because what we've seen here in recent years, as more and more people are becoming content creators and so forth, people asking what or interested in what cameras are others using. And frankly speaking, I had no idea. So when we attended VidSummit last year, I took that opportunity, and if you're not familiar with what VidSummit is, it's basically you have content creators, YouTubers from around the world converging in this expo that lasts a handful of days. And guys, what I did is I just asked a buttload of people, took that opportunity for being there and asked them one question: what camera were they using? And then over the last handful of months as well, continuing asking people what cameras did they use. So the list started off with kind of the top 11, but then I kind of filtered it down to the top 7 cameras, guys. So if you stick around through the end of this video, you'll get an inside look at the top 7 cameras that came up the most with video content creators. I'm going to be covering with you about the specs, pros, cons, pricing, you name it. Also, you'll learn about our current giveaway, which includes some awesome photography and videography gear. Now, pull up a seat. Let's go. The top cameras for content creators. Okay, guys, the 7 cameras I want to discuss with you today are the Sony A6600, the Panasonic GH4, the Canon EOS R, the Sony A7R IV, the Sony A7III, the Nikon Z6, and the GoPro Hero 8 with the media mod. Now, with regards to the GoPro, full disclosure, when I was asking people what camera they used, I got a lot of people saying GoPros, but I didn't clarify whether it was a GoPro 6, 7, 8. So to be quite frank with you, I'm selecting the 8 with the media mod because it's their latest GoPro, and the media mod has some features that really make it shine. So that's that. All right, we're just going to do a quick broad overview of each camera so you get a general idea of what the top choices are for YouTubers and video content creators. I've done detailed articles on each one of these cameras on PhotographyTalk, so check the description below for links to those if you want to get more details on a specific camera. These cameras also have some commonalities, but at the end of the day, they each bring certain benefits and detriments to the table as well. So let's get to it. The first camera on the chopping block is the Sony A6600. Now, let's take a look at the specs with this camera. You're talking about a 24 megapixel sensor, Exmor CMOS APS-C image sensor with the Bionz X image processor. You have a hybrid autofocus system with 425 phase detect autofocus points, customizable autofocus performance, and you can adjust the drive speed and tracking sensitivity for video recording. Native ISO range from 100 to 32,000, and this extends from 50 to 102,400. 4K 30 video with real-time tracking in eye autofocus. You also can get hybrid log gamma video recording up to 100 megabytes per second, 4K UHD derived from 6K oversampled footage, and internal recording at 420, no limit on the video recording. Full HD video at up to 120p. HD is also available at 24, 30, and 60 frames per second. Focus peaking, time code, and zebra functions. There's also a user-defined data like time, scene number for making editing more streamlined. Built-in mic and headphone jacks, 5-axis in-body image stabilization, XGA OLED electronic viewfinder with 2.36 million dots of resolutions, a 3-inch touchscreen that tilts and flips forward and has 0.09 million dots of resolution. Wi-Fi and NFC, weathered seal body, and it's priced currently at $1,198. Pros of this camera, you're talking about a huge upgrade in battery life, bigger, deeper grip, which I've used a lot of the 6000 series cameras in the past, and the grip is a lot chunkier, so it was a big improvement on that. Superb autofocus, the IBIS. Now the cons of this camera, there's no joystick for adjusting autofocus points, it is only one card slot, and it's a slow UHS 1 type. All right. On to the Panasonic GH4. You're talking about a 20.3 megapixel sensor, which is a micro four thirds sensor with a Venus engine image processor, 225-point autofocus system that also includes motion detection and motion vector analysis, as well as upgraded depth from defocus algorithm, which is more accurate when determining the distance of moving subject. Joystick for adjusting the autofocus point, native ISO range from 200 to 25,600, and this is expandable from 100 to 25,600. You have 4K 60 video with no crop. You also get hybrid log gamma video, internal 10-bit 422 video capture, and up to 150 megabytes recording with no limit on video creator. Full HD video up to 180p, zebra, record time code, and black level adjustments for video. There's also something called Focus Transition Tool that lets you set up 3 focus points for the camera to rack towards. The camera will automatically shift between these points, and it does so at a constant speed. It also has a built-in mic and headphone jack, as well as a XLR interface with Panasonic's optional hot shoe powered DMW XLR1 microphone adapter for even better sound. This camera has a 5-axis in-body stabilization, electronic viewfinder with 3.68 million dots of resolution, a 3.2-inch touchscreen, and it's also fully articulating and it has 1.62 million dots of resolution. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, weather sealed body, and this bugger is priced at $1,297.99 at the moment. Pros of this camera start off with the incredible image stabilization. Excellent ISO performance for video and 4K video at 60p. Cons of this camera: loss of quality when used in variable frame rate mode at 1080p and 180 frames per second. All right, jumping over to the Canon EOS R. Kicking things off with a 30 megapixel sensor, and this is a full frame sensor with a Digic 8 image processor. Dual pixel autofocus system, which has a maximum of 5,655 selectable autofocus points that covers 100% of the frame vertically and 88% of the frame horizontally. The native ISO range of this camera is from 100 to 40,000 and is extendable up to 50 to 102,400. 4K video at 30p, but you get a huge crop. You get C-Log recording internally as well as externally to a HDMI recorder. 10-bit 422 external recording, 420 8-bit internal recording, and the color science of this camera is off the charts. Full HD video at up to 60p. To shoot slow-mo at 120 frames per second, you have to shoot it at 720p. It does have a built-in mic and headphone jack, electronic viewfinder with 3.69 million dots of resolution, a 3.2-inch touchscreen that's fully articulating and has 2.1 million dots of resolution. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and it's weathered sealed. Currently, it's priced at $1,799. Let's talk about the pros of this camera. First off, you're talking about crazy color science. You have an amazing selection of RF lenses. The price is amazing. It's a great hybrid camera. If you need something that is capable of both photos and videos, this is really a good option. Cons of this camera: of course, the 1.7x crop is shooting 4K, only 720 resolution with shooting at 120 frames per second, 30-minute continuous recording time, and of course, the big elephant in the room, there's no IBIS. Next, the Sony A7R IV. The specs on this camera starts off with a beast of a 61.2 megapixel sensor. It is a full frame with back illuminated and is paired with the Bianzi X image processor. hybrid autofocus system with 567 phase detect autofocus points and 425 contrast detect autofocus points that cover 99.7% vertically and 74% horizontally. AI-powered autofocus, and you get real-time tracking that uses color, pattern, and distance to track subjects. So you also get real-time face detect and eye focus for humans as well as animals. Native ISO range of this camera is 100 to 32,000. This extends to 50 to 102,400. 4K 30p video at both 60 megabytes per second and 100 megabytes per second, and 4K video is shot at the full width of the sensor. You can use both Super 35 mode, which is a APS-C crop to feature, or to capture rather, 6K video and downsample it to 4K for even improved detail and fewer artifacts. Zebra timecode, record control, as well as focus peaking. You get hybrid log gamma picture profile and S-Log3 and a clean HDMI out. Just 8-bit internal recording though. Full HD video up to 120p. Built-in mic and headphone jacks. Electronic UXGA viewfinder with 5.67 million dots of resolution. 3-inch touchscreen, and that tilts and has a 1.44 million dots of resolution. Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth. Weathered sealed body. Price of this camera is currently at $3,498. Pros of this camera: it's a epic sensor. Fast and accurate autofocus, IBIS, and tons of ports for accessories. Cons of this camera: the LCD only tips up and down, it's real pricey, and the 4K is only at 8-bit. Next we have the Sony A7III. Specs on this camera: it's a 24 megapixel sensor, it's a full frame and back illuminated, and is paired with the Bion ZX image processor. The hybrid autofocus system with 693 phase detect autofocus points and 425 contrast detect autofocus points that cover, guys, 93% of the frame. Native ISO range is from 100 to 51,200, and this extends up to 50 to 204,800. 4K 30p video at 60 megabytes per second or 100 megabytes per second, and using the full width of the sensor. The sensor collects about 2.4 times the needed data for 4K, so the oversampled video is very high quality. Hybrid log gamma profile is available, so is S-Log2 and S-Log3, Zebra's proxy recording, and gamma display assist. Full HD video up to 120p. Built-in mic and headphone jacks, and of course the electronic XGA viewfinder with 2.3 million dots of resolution. It has a 3-inch touchscreen, and that tilts and has about 0.924 million dots of resolution. Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth, and it is a weathered sealed body. The current price of this camera is $1,998. Pros of this camera: beautiful 4K video, solid battery life, tons of customization options for shooting video, IBIS. All right, the cons: the LCD only tilts. Autofocus isn't as good for video as stills. Menu system is far too difficult to navigate. Okay, jumping over to the Nikon Z6. This camera, of course, is a 24 megapixel sensor, or has a 24 megapixel sensor. It's full frame, back illuminated, and is paired with the X-Speed 6 image processor. Hybrid autofocus system with 273 autofocus points that covers about 90% of the frame. Native ISO range of this camera is 100 to 51,200 and extends to 50 to 204,800. 4K 30p video with 10-bit external recording, 8-bit internal recording, and timecode function. Full HD video up to 120p. Built-in mic and headphone jacks. Electronic viewfinder with 3.5 million dots of resolution. It has a 3.2-inch touchscreen, and that tilts and has 2.1 million dots of resolution. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It is a weathered sealed body as well. And the current price of this camera right now is $1,796.95. Pros of this camera: it has a great price, gorgeous oversampled 4K video, 10-bit log footage, 2 external recorder, IBIS. Now, the cons: the LCD only tilts, no 4K at 60p, and the lens selection isn't as robust as some of the other cameras on this list. Last, we have the GoPro Hero 8 with the media mod. This camera has a 12 megapixel sensor. It's the same sensor and chip as the Hero 7, but GoPro rewrote the software to make the processor more functional. You have up to 4K 60p video, which is available at 16:9 and 4:3 formats. Hypersmooth stabilization works like a charm. Makes your handheld footage shake-free. Media Mod has a built-in directional mic. There's also a 3.5 millimeter mic port, so if you'd rather use an external mic, which I do recommend. The Media Mod also has 2 cold shoe mounts for attaching other accessories. There's even an HDMI out port to monitor or play back your footage. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS, weathered seal body, waterproof up to 33 feet without the case. Price for this camera currently is $349. Pros: you're talking about something that is crazy compact, rugged, and versatile. Hypersmooth is fantastic. Fun features like time warp, digital lenses, and live streaming at 1080p. Now the cons of this camera: there's no front-facing camera display. They do have one that's available. It's technically should have come out a handful of months back, but it is not yet available, and that actually mounts on the mod kit itself, or on the media mod. Wi-Fi video transfer can be a bit on the slow side. Now, I know that's a ton of specs and features to try to keep track of, but when you consider some of the top features that video content creators, YouTubers want in a camera, you can see how these rigs stack up against one another. Each one has a microphone and headphone jacks and is highly capable of autofocus systems, except for the GoPro Hero 8. Well, then again, if you put the media mod kit on, then you have the mic port. Each one offers 4K video, but only the GH5 and the GoPro gives you 4K at 60p. The biggest differences in these cameras from a video production standpoint is the LCD screens. On some of the cameras like the Z6, the A7R IV, and the A7 III, this screen only tilts. Kind of like the fixed screen that's on the GoPro, so you don't get that front-facing screen that is so helpful to content creators. Meanwhile, the A6600, the EOS R, and the GH5 all have front-facing screens. At the end of the day, these cameras might differ, but they all have most of the features video creators want. It's probably a matter of a few specific features like 10-bit or 8-bit recording, battery life, ergonomics, which I find to be a big one, and price will ultimately help you decide which of these cameras is really best for you. I personally use the EOS R for video creation. What camera do you use, or what camera are you ready to buy? Let me know in the comments below. Now, before I sign off, I do want to let you know about the giveaway that we have going on right now. We have 4 awesome prizes: a GoPro Hero 8 Black, a GoPro Hero 7 Black, a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and a $100 Adorama gift card. Each winner also receives a Octopad. The contest is going on right now and goes till April 15th, 2020. Here's what you need to do to enter. Step 1. Like this video. Step 2, leave a comment below. In fact, the more of our videos that you watch and comment on, the more chances that you have to win. So drop some comments. Step 3, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My friend, that is it. For complete details on the giveaway, check out the description below. Well, there you go, guys. That is our list of the 7 top cameras for video content creators and YouTubers. If you found this video to be helpful, please hit the like button down below. It does help the channel out quite a bit. If you're currently not subscribed to the channel, hey, what are you waiting for? We'd love to have you here. And of course, don't forget to hit the bell to be notified each time that we come out with a new video. All right, my friend, I am going to head on out, and you get out there and create your best shot.